You're listening to Flying Casual, a Star Wars podcast. Here's your host, Michael Canterbury.
12 days until the Rise of Skywalker.
12.
I repeat, 12 days until the Rise of Skywalker.
This is not a drill.
This is not a drill. There's less than 2 weeks to prepare. I don't know what to do with myself.
Are you ready, Michael?
I am ready. And you know why I feel better about the movie now? Because I've stopped watching the TV spots.
Yeah. I keep seeing them pop up on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah,
no.
It's every time I check Facebook, I see Star Wars posted a new TV, even if it's the ones with the graphics that come up like final install. Like I'm just like, no, because you're gonna show me something every time.
They posted one today, or yesterday, depending on when you're listening to this.
Mm-hmm.
It was I got on the Facebook and it was
the
like
Facebook.
First...
I love that you call it the Facebook. Can we talk about that? It's like you're some 80-year-old lady. Yes, I just got on the Facebook to look at my grandchildren's school photos.
Can you connect me to the Facebook?
Can you connect me to the intranet?
Oh.
No offense to our 80-year-old, listeners.
Sure.
But I think that was a pretty good impression of you.
Being 80?
Being 80.
Great. Perfect.
But you're on the Facebook.
I'm on the Facebook.
Yeah.
And it was like at the top of my newsfeed, and it was like just posted 3 hours ago. Star Wars.
Get out of here.
And then it was like just a bunch of like shots of clips that we've already seen.
Yeah.
And the thing is that like they grab your attention. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to scroll as fast as I can
Absolutely.
to not see this. And then it like pops up with a bunch of bright colors and I'm like, oh, okay.
Like
I'll
a
look
dog.
at this.
Run out. It's not the what's distracted me from the Star Wars posts is it the dodo? Is that the animal post?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, all the videos, the little tear
I
jerkers.
made the mistake of watching one of those, and now every other thing I get is one of those, whether it's Instagram or Facebook. And wow, some emotional stuff in there. All these rescue dogs and cats, and
it's kind of nice though because most of the ones that they're
lovely.
featuring are like happy endings.
Yeah,
and
they are.
When the animals make noises on it, they have edited the video so that stuff like lines and stuff come out of their mouth.
Yeah.
Like little graphics.
Well, and that's the thing. I never turn on the volume on anything that I watch unless it's a Star Wars trailer.
And they don't really do subtitles for the animals.
Someone should be interpreting for them. That's probably actually a new category of animal rescue videos, right? Like we speak on behalf of the animals.
I don't think that's new, but
well,
you mean
yeah, I get they've made movies and stuff, but these things, no one's speaking for the animals in a comedic way. I think we could do that. Right?
I mean, what was that one TV show that was on a couple
Secret Life of Pets. Oh.
No, that was a movie. Super cute.
Yeah.
No, it was some TV show, and it was this girl, and it was narrated through the eyes of her dog.
Oh, not Homeward Bound.
No, that is still a movie.
Also a great movie.
Sad.
Is it, though? It has quite a happy ending.
It's still sad.
Unless I'm forgetting the movie. I'm pretty sure everyone gets home safely. Spoilers for 1995 or whenever that was released.
No, it was some movie. It was on ABC Family or NBC or something. Yeah. And the girl, it was the dog narrating what was happening in his owner's life.
Okay.
And making commenting on her lifestyle and her boyfriend choices.
This was recent.
I mean, a couple years ago.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. I couldn't tell you the name of it.
No,
but it was pretty funny. I think it got canceled.
Yeah, it came off. It was one season.
Well, that's the same thing with Ben and Kate, which I thought was a hilarious sitcom, and it's
gone.
Whatever it was, not a sitcom, but television show. One season, gone, done. Same with this one, where the dog talks about his owner's terrible, pathetic life. Gone. But that's okay. So the dodo has really kept me away from the Star Wars teaser trailers, whatever you want to call them, TV spots. I can't do it anymore. They were showing, once I saw that dagger, turn it off.
Yeah, I don't think.
But we might have to talk about the dagger. We'll see.
Oh, no.
We'll see.
I don't think I saw the one with the dagger until we talked about it the last time. Because I was trying to not watch them.
I know, and I didn't want you to watch it, but put the phone in front of your face and I said, watch it.
And then, oh yeah, so this one that I saw today had mostly the same clips.
Yeah.
There were a couple new ones, but they happened like really fast. It looks like the one thing that it looks like is happening a lot is Rey is learning how to jump really far distances.
Wow. Yeah.
I've seen that
That's
multiple
part of the
times.
training.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Luke was doing it from vine to vine. And I mean, yeah, that's part of the training. Climbing, running, jumping, you know, all the basics.
It's like Cirque du Soleil featuring the Force.
Wow.
Oh.
That actually would have been epic if Luke was climbing up the vine and Yoda's on his back, but all of a sudden he dips back. Dramatic pose. Hold it. Hold it. Okay, I'm back. That would have been cool, right?
I want to see Ewoks like hooping with like the fire on them.
Wow. There's like spinning like hula hoops of fire and he has to jump through it from the vine.
Yeah.
Wow, we should pitch a Ewok special or even like a cartoon. I would watch it in a cartoon format of this. This
Star
is
Wars,
great.
consider this a pitch.
What would you call it? Cirque du Dagobah?
On this
I'm cracking
week's
myself
episode of Cirque du Dagobah.
Cirque du Dagobah. I feel like it has to be a little sexier than Cirque du Dagobah. Like just as, you know, we say. That's
actually
a
pretty
great
good.
idea. Not a bad idea. Coming in hot in this intro, pitching ideas left and right, but we've learned that we shouldn't do that. No, actually, we haven't learned that we shouldn't do that because every
We're still doing
episode
it.
we pitch a great idea, whether it's a T-shirt, whether it's a sitcom, whether it's this, Cirque du Dagobah.
I
Make
like
it
it.
happen. Make it happen. There's probably a T-shirt there for that, too.
Yes.
We'll come up with it. Floating rocks, floating X-Wings, Luke doing
oh
a
my
dip.
God.
Yeah.
Floating rocks.
I can't draw it, but someone can.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll get someone to
Who-
do it. You could
yeah.
paint it.
I could paint it.
That'd actually be a really awesome watercolor.
Would it?
Yeah. It would be hard to get the details, though, down of Dagobah. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Snakes and crap. Am I right?
Yeah. Just that.
Just that. Folks, welcome to episode 13, Flying Casual. As we announced at the beginning, less than 2 weeks to the Rise of Skywalker. What are you guys doing to get prepared? I'm just cutting myself off. I went down. I was on the Facebook, as Holly calls it, scrolling, watching Dodo videos or whatever. And I don't know why, but I got a glimpse of someone's conversation they were having about the script, not the script being leaked, but like the whole plot of the movie being leaked and it being accurate. And like,
But how would they know?
I don't know.
You don't know
Sources,
if it's accurate.
you don't. But somehow that popped up and like I saw someone saying, of course this is about Rey. Yeah, this is ridiculous. I gave Star Wars everything, and now it's just this crap story, and it's all about Rey. And I was like, what?
Oh, you know what?
Yeah, you saw it too.
I saw all of that, but what I saw it on, I think I read some of them to you. It was on a fan art poster
That might have been it.
that Star Wars posted.
Oh, that was bad.
And
That was
I thought that the poster was really awesome.
Yeah.
And I loved the colors. I loved how it was kind of like comic booky and a little pixelated.
Yeah.
It was like a lot of purples and blues. I was like, this is a really cool poster.
Yeah, it was cool.
So I wanted to look through the comments to see if the artist had said anything because I wanted to see if she had any other, like, you know, like a shop or like an Instagram page or something. This was on Facebook.
Yeah.
And the comments that I read, I couldn't believe it.
Were they harassing her, or
They
what was
were-
happening?
They were not about the poster, so they weren't like harassing the artist.
We're saying
but-
harassing now here on Flying Casual.
Yeah.
Because we're dignified. Right?
Sure.
Sure.
Yes. That's why I'm
Makes
drinking
us
wine.
sound a little more eloquent. Yeah, you're drinking
It's fine.
a very large glass of red wine.
This is the Finer Things podcast.
It's really just a black box.
The whole box.
The whole black box.
Somebody needs to get me a giant chalice
Wow. We could do that.
and put Flying Casual on it.
You never know. That might be a Flying Casual Christmas present. We'll see. We'll see what
flying-
Santa
okay.
brings. I don't know.
Okay,
Could
anyway.
be on its way.
Oh.
Well, no spoilers.
Okay. Well, so I'm like going through the comments and
Yeah.
people were just like, I won't see this movie. I'm not giving any more of my money to this franchise.
my
This
God.
movie is turning into a movie for these girls
Yeah.
and this is
Yeah.
all about Rey.
This isn't my Star Wars. Where's my other diaper? Mama warmed me up a bottle.
No, seriously.
That's what it was.
I think that's
a bunch of freaking
how
babies.
it translated.
I'm sorry. A bunch of freaking babies.
They were being mean.
Of course they were.
It wasn't just like, I have an opinion and I'm upset about the direction that this is going.
Yeah.
It was, I'm pissed about the direction that this is going, and I'm going to tear every character down.
Especially the women.
And I want Kathleen Kennedy fired.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh, right. Yeah. Off with their head, they're saying. They've been saying that for 3 years now.
It's a witch hunt.
And you know what? They're still watching The Mandalorian.
Oh, as it turns out.
They're still loving it. They're still going to go see The Rise of Skywalker. I actually saw, I can't remember who posted it in the Facebook group, but they were scrolling through their Twitter or something like that. And someone, I don't know what the post was originally, but someone commented on it, said, you know what's surprising? You all are believing this baby Yoda, a species that we know nothing about, but you believe the fact that he can lift this rhinoceros, and be so force sensitive. But anything that Rey does, you find completely flabbergasting.
Yeah.
That how could she do this? She hasn't even trained.
Yeah.
It's like, this is an infant and he's doing this. So why is it so unbelievable?
You know the one comment on that Facebook post that I read that I remember because it was so offensive.
Ugh.
They said, "Oh, finally figured out what Rey's force power is. It's keeping people away from the movie theater." What?
Yeah, grossing over $1 billion is really keeping people away from the movie. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
That was a really smart comment.
Yeah.
These people just piss me off. I'm sorry they do. It just annoys me.
And
They have no other reason to
Yeah.
go on the internet but to make people feel bad, and this is their platform for doing so, and that's great.
Yeah.
Do what
Whatever.
you wish.
You can say whatever you want.
Be pathetic.
But also, I can not agree with it.
Oh yeah, go on there and bash the hell out of them. Yeah.
Well, no, not
Oh,
that.
yeah, you're right. That's not the mature thing to do. Harassment is real, and we should not give it back to them.
Amen. No, I don't know. Just like the more I think about what we were talking about a couple episodes ago about how J.J. Abrams was talking about the toxicity in the Star Wars fandom and Benioff and Weiss dropping out of doing the Star Wars movies, and people were talking about how they just don't want to step into this like toxic fan base because Star Wars fans are very hard to please.
Yeah.
And the whole time I was reading through these comments, I was like, there's not one good thing about it.
Yeah.
There wasn't one nice comment in there. And that's like, because the true Star Wars fans are just enjoying the content as it comes out. They're not
and if
bashing
they don't,
it.
just don't watch it.
It's that simple.
Or watch it and move on with your life. Like, I don't understand why there's a desire to bring down the franchise because it's not your Star Wars. Just stop watching it or create your own content. Do something else with your life. You're wasting it sitting here bashing things you don't like. Just move on.
And then I wasted it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's the thing. Then they're wasting my time because then I'm reading the comments.
I mean, your screen time was up 30% this week, so that's embarrassing on your behalf, but that's okay.
It was just the bad comments on Facebook.
I think you left your phone unlocked for a couple days, and I think it was like, wow, Holly had 24 hours straight of screen time. What's happening here?
Does she sleep?
I don't think you do.
My watch vibrates, and it's just popping up. You need to go to bed.
Go to bed. Turn your phone off. Turn our watch off. Turn it all off.
Shut yourself off.
Shut everything down. But so I've been trying to avoid these things, but they're still creeping in. But I saw that and okay, so what if it is Rey's story? Like, what did you expect this to be? Anakin's story again?
We had that.
We had it, and it's like as
kind
much as it
twice.
Exactly. We talked about that in that article where it's like, as much as it was Luke's story in the original trilogy, it was also Vader's story in his arc and things like that. But so, I just don't understand how, it's supposed to encompass all of Star Wars. This is the final installment. Would it be cool to see Anakin come back? Cool. Yeah, great. But, how are you mad that this is her story now? I just didn't understand
Also, okay.
Come on.
Let's talk about the fact that we've already had 2 movies where
Come on. Has been left out.
And then, so you're thinking, well, every normal person is thinking, this has to be the movie where she finally shows us what she's bringing to the table, right?
Oh, yeah, totally.
And then for people to be like, ugh, I can't believe this is all about Rey.
Yeah.
Well, what did you expect? Because we've learned about her for 2 movies. You think all of a sudden she's just going to take a step back and
she's going to be out of the movie?
Can you imagine how upset people would be? Like, what is the point? What was the point of the last 2 movies?
I would be pissed.
Ugh.
If this isn't about Rey and her being the hero that the galaxy needs, I'm going to be upset. I just am. Like, I've wanted more of her every time I watch it. Especially The Last Jedi. I'm like, we did not get enough Rey here. Not enough Rey development. So give me 10 times more Rey. Give me 10 times more Rey. Because I need it. She's going to be epic. It's going to be great.
Have you finished reading Resistance Reborn?
Nope. You put me on the spot there.
Sorry.
I haven't. Nope.
So
you're good. But I haven't.
Okay. I was just going to ask if...
Well, as much as they teased it being a little bit about her, it really is Poe and his development, and there's a lot of Leia so far, and I'm halfway through the book.
Okay. That was going to be my question, is how much Rey are we seeing in the Resistance Reborn novel?
Not much. Other than the beginning, her kind of talking to Leia so far, 0 after that.
I just wanted to make you sweat a little bit.
Well, I sweat naturally, so a little extra, pitting out on the show. I mean, my new Flying Casualty, can I plug that?
Check it out.
I mean, is that sick or is that sick?
It's sick.
I mean, I can't. I did some modeling poses. Oh, you took some great pictures, by the way.
It's a portrait mode. Change the lighting around.
Well, don't give all the credit to the iPhone. I think you did a great job. It wasn't the model. I'm saying that your photography is fantastic. I don't think give yourself enough props there. But I mean, was I really working that camera? Yes. I mean, there's probably 20 shots on there. I said put a collage on.
I put 2.
We were going to do a whole story of like flying casual in the kitchen. I was going to have a chef's hat on with an apron and with the T-shirt, and that we didn't do that. I was going to do an artist one of me, like doing painting or something, and it didn't do that. So there's other pictures out there, that we were going to tell the story of the flying casualty and everything that it could do. But we just stuck with 2.
We'll do a slow release.
A slow release.
Every day, every listener gets a picture of Michael modeling a flying casual shirt. Right.
Who wouldn't want that? I mean, they're not the most flattering pictures, but that's just because I got to lose a nice 15 there around the waistline.
I'm sorry. I thought you said that my photography skills were great.
Well, yeah, but I didn't say your post-production efforts were anything, because you could have probably done some photoshopping around the waist to really get that nice and tight.
Photoshopping has not been trendy lately.
Oh, so we're actually like looking at people as they are? Is that what we're saying? Or like, yeah. Well, that's good. That's different, right? Though you just showed me a freaking documentary on K-pop and
oh my God,
how it's a huge farce and
who
it's
knew?
just all.
I didn't know anything about.
I didn't
K-pop.
even know this was popular, so this was news to me. What is this? Who are these people? I've never
K-pop,
heard of Monster X.
Monster X.
Monster X. No, that wasn't a British accent. There is no R. It's Monster X.
Oh, okay.
Yep, you're welcome.
Oh, that's right. You remembered that. I didn't.
Yeah, I don't remember a lot, but I do remember that. That was a very disturbing documentary.
It was extremely disturbing.
Absolutely. So hopefully you guys have been avoiding any. I know people are saying that the whole plot, the whole script is leaked. Just stay out of it. When we got 2 weeks, just go enjoy that movie. I think it's going to be a good one, and I hope Rey kicks a lot of butt.
Me too.
Right? I hope she just whoops Kylo and Palpatine, and it's epic, and I hope it's fantastic.
We'll see what happens.
I really cannot wait. So that's fun. We posted the shirts, so hopefully you guys are getting your shirts. I mean, as much as I like a nice dark shirt, the red and the blue were really standing out. So I grabbed a couple. I was like, let's show people what they actually look like, and I'm digging it. I might wear this to work tomorrow with the blazer. Class it up, the pro tip. I'm taking the pro tip, and I'm running with it. Now, if I get made fun of, well, then we got problems.
Well, I didn't dress you.
Well,
I just gave you the tip.
But you probably need to.
Phrasing.
Because
okay.
No, that was good. You were on another level today. Something I don't know. It was like 5 phrasings in a row. I couldn't say anything without you nailing me. Phrasing. You were on it today, phrasing again, but it was epic. So nice work, Holly, on the phrasing front.
Thank you. Thank you.
So check out the shirts. The group right now is hot. The Facebook group is hot. We've got some people offering theories in there and stuff, which is great. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, there are a lot of theories, and we'll get into that. There are a couple that we're gonna start sharing on the podcast. So if you're not interested in sending an email, you're not interested, leave a voicemail. If you leave it in the group, it's fair game to be mentioned on the podcast.
We may even ask you if it's okay if we use it, just to be safe, because it is a private kind of space. But
anyway, I Can I give a shout out?
Come on. I love shout outs.
Okay. I'm going to give a shout out to Wade.
Come on. He's killing it.
He helped us kick off our first giveaway. And this was all his doing.
Yeah.
He reached out to us and was like, hey guys, what do you think about flying casual decals?
Yeah.
I have a buddy who can draw you up some. Is that okay? And we were like, yeah.
Down.
Why not?
Absolutely.
So then he's like, we have some extras.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we should do a giveaway?
Yeah.
We're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
How do you do a giveaway? I have no idea. But let's do it.
Yeah. So we set up a giveaway. It's ending tonight, so by the time you guys hear this, it will be over. But get in the group because I think this will be the first of a few.
Yeah, a few.
Well,
I'm thinking weekly.
That's a lot.
I probably can't afford it, but no, I think that's a great idea. I think doing it in the group like that makes it special. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like those that care enough to go to the group, join that community, makes it special, and they get those opportunities and they know what's up. And yeah, it's as simple as going and leaving a review. Whatever you want to say, that's great. Just leave your name with it, and you're in the drawing.
And so that's coming to a close tonight, but I think that people are really engaged with that. I think that everyone really liked that.
It's a lot of fun.
And I thought it was super cool. So thank you, Wade, for helping us put that together. That was super cool. And he even sent us all a flying casual decal that we are going to probably put on our vehicles.
Oh, I know exactly where it's going on my RAV, so I just need to clean that window, post it. And here's the thing. I've never put anything on a car I've owned. Not one decal, not a sticker, but by God, those things look sick. So that's going on there. I'm going to take a picture and post it to the group.
Yes. So check it out. And then if you don't know how to join the group, I know we talk about this every episode, but if you are new, if you don't know how to join the group,
it's on the Facebook, right? The Facebook.
Yeah. You go to the Flying Casual Facebook page, and there's a little button right there. It says join the group.
That's right.
And then usually Wade will accept you very quickly.
Absolutely. And there's a few questions.
And we can see the answers.
Yeah, we want to know how you found the podcast and all that good stuff, so feel free to answer those. But, yeah, no, that was freaking awesome of him, and we've already got some good response for it. And I mean, and then once whoever wins those, and we're going to do a live drawing, right?
Yep.
Wednesday night. We're going to do a Facebook live drawing. So we'll post, I think you can post an event or an announcement or something there that we're going live at a certain time. So we'll announce that. So that's going to be interesting because, I mean, there's maybe once I've gone live on Facebook, I think accidentally. It was at a bad time, so that was awkward. But but seriously, I think I've only done it once, so we'll figure that out. I think we can make that a little entertaining. So
it'll be good. Live
drawing Wednesday night, more specifics to come. So looking forward to seeing who wins those decals. We got a couple of them. So
we do.
A couple of winners there. So that is fantastic. We do have, I do want to get to the chapter 5 of the Mandalorian Gunslinger because solid episode. I'll just say
really
that up
great
front.
episode.
Solid episode, better than chapter 4, I thought. But that's just my humble personal opinion. But we're gonna pick an email out. We got Brent coming at us with some episode 9 predictions, and I think Brent and I are on the same page, right? I mean, from what he's saying, and he references Master and Apprentice. We've talked about the prophecies before, and he comes back and references all of them and kind of where he sees what the prophecy means, what is it telling us, and he's got some that involve Rey and maybe ways in which people aren't thinking about the prophecy, which I thought was really unique. And I think that could start some good conversation here. So do you mind, Holly, breaking that down for us?
So he does a really good job of giving us the different prophecies and then giving his opinion or his theory on it. So I think we're going to break it down as we go. I think that's probably the best way to do this.
Yes.
So Brent says, hello there, Flying Casual family. Michael, Holly, and Luke, I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend and consuming the green bean casserole left you only with heartburn and not heartache. And let us be clear, he's talking about actual green beans.
Yeah.
Not haricot vert.
Not our haricot vert. Like, yeah, number one in our hearts, but a delicious meal.
Number one on our menu.
There is not, I can't get enough of it. It's delicious. But I didn't have any for Thanksgiving.
No, there was none. I like it when the little crunchy French onions are put on the top.
Those are my least favorite of the. It's the mushroom cream, the cream of mushroom, the mushroom.
The
cream.
mushroom.
Wow, phrasing galore there. Cheesy Pete.
Moving on. Oof.
Wow, yeah, take that out of your mind.
Okay.
It ain't gonna be a casserole.
Ugh. Ugh.
Whoa,
Ugh.
or will it?
Okay.
Impressive. Go.
I predict we will learn that Rey is actually the chosen
Come
one,
on.
and it wasn't Anakin.
Come on, Brent.
Agreed.
Right?
Better be.
I don't have a problem with it. It's like we said up front. It's like Anakin had his moment.
He
had
had
a
his
whole
moment.
trilogy. We get it. It's awesome. Is this his story? Yes, it's his. It's much his as it is others. Our new characters and heroes. Sorry.
Moving on.
Yeah.
In Master and Apprentice, we learn about the ancient Jedi prophecies.
Come on. Number 1.
She who will be born to darkness will give birth to darkness.
That's right.
So, he said this is likely about Leia, born to Vader and gives birth to Kylo Ren.
Yeah, that's pretty much people agree on that one. That's yeah. Could you see Rey? Maybe, who knows? Born to darkness. You know what? Is she?
It may not be literally giving birth. If you're looking at it, that it's
literal birth.
Yeah, if you truly believe that this could not be Leia and you think it would be Rey, then you're probably thinking more along the lines it's not literally giving birth. It's the outcome of your actions.
I like that.
Or the whatever's left in your wake.
Yeah, or she could be created by Palpatine if that's a thing. Who knows? Yeah, totally. But yeah, I think everyone tends to agree. Probably Leia and Kylo for sure.
Number 2. When the Kyber that is not Kyber shines forth, the time of prophecy will be at hand.
Mm-hmm.
This is the events of Master and Apprentice showing that the time of prophecy is here and that the other prophecies can begin to be fulfilled.
And this one confused. Like I was trying to think about when I was reading the book, like what does this mean? And I think like Brent says, it's just that the time of the prophecy can begin now after the events of this book. That seems. I like the way he just kind of summarized it that way because that one always confused me. Like, what do they tie it? The actual literal like. The non-Kyber that they talk about in the book, is that what they're referencing here in this? And I think he's right. I think it is. So I like that straightforward answer.
Number 3. When the righteous lose the light, evil once dead shall return. Yes. I think everyone, when you read this, especially if you weren't sure now after seeing the trailer for the Rise of Skywalker, I think that you're like, Palpatine.
Yeah.
So he said, this one's a little bit tougher. I think it refers to Ben's fall to darkness and Palpatine's return. I think this takes place sometime during the second half of The Last Jedi. At the beginning, Kylo was still conflicted because he wouldn't shoot at his mom on the cruiser. He completes his fall sometime between killing Snoke and confronting Luke.
And I like where Brent's head is here, but there's also some that say when the righteous lose the light, maybe even like the order itself. When they no longer, are doing what's best for the galaxy, evil shall return again. And that is that Palpatine, from the beginning, or is that Luke's order, or Luke maybe himself losing the light?
Or like what happened at his academy?
Yeah, exactly. That may be the fall of that academy, or I like even maybe Luke Skywalker himself being that light, having a rough time and losing that light
and losing sight of the Force,
allowing when he shuts himself off, maybe he's allowing evil of Palpatine to rise. I think that's totally feasible.
I mean,
it's all about balance.
So,
it's all about balance. Yeah, I agree.
It's a good one.
Yeah. Number 4.
One will ascend to the highest of the Jedi despite the foreboding of those who would serve with him.
Yeah, and he says this one refers to Anakin's appointment of the Jedi Council, and I think I tend to agree with that. I'm trying to think of who else could ascend to the highest of the Jedi despite the foreboding of those who would serve with him. Could it be Luke? I don't really know how that would work.
It wasn't like the same kind of like hesitancy from the council.
Yeah.
Because with Anakin, Qui-Gon at first is the only one who's like, we have to train this boy. Even Obi-Wan is like, no.
Yeah. No, I agree. And it's great that you and I are going back and watching
rewatching all the the prequels
before
all of them.
Yeah, but I want to go back and watch them some more because it struck up some good conversation. We'll talk about that later. But I like where Brent is here on number 4.
I agree
definitely
with that.
Seems like it's Anakin for sure.
Number 5. Only through sacrifice of many Jedi will the Order cleanse the sin done to the Nameless.
Come on.
The danger of the past is not the past, but sleeps in an egg.
Asuka.
Yeah, that's all I hear. When the egg cracks or is opened by Jawas,
Or sliced with a sickle. Yeah.
it'll threaten the galaxy entire. When the Force itself sickens, past and future must split and combine. A chosen one shall come, born of no father, and through him will ultimate balance in the Force be restored.
When the Force itself sickens, past and future must split and combine. A chosen one shall come, born of no father, and through him will ultimate balance in the Force be restored.
So Brent said, this is another tough one. It's usually interpreted as Anakin's birth because of the chosen one portion and the fatherless birth.
Yep.
But according to the prophecy, the chosen one is born after the Order is cleansed. So the Jedi are cleansed in Order 66, the danger of the past, and Empire is defeated but not destroyed and sleeps in the unknown region. When the egg cracks or the Empire reforms as the First Order, then the entire galaxy is threatened, leading to the birth of the chosen one after the Empire falls and begins to reform. Maybe about 10 years after Endor, around the time that Rey is born. She will ultimately defeat Palpatine and Kylo Ren to bring balance back to the Force.
Preach.
The past and future must split and combine. Part might refer to the world between worlds, which would allow for the different times to come together.
Wow. I mean, that's getting, if you're bringing in the world between worlds, like that's getting
Sweaty.
deep and sweaty of like, are we, like the sense of time then is irrelevant. Because if they're saying that the chosen one is born of no father, and like he's looking at it as like chronological as you read it, like through the sacrifice of the Jedi will the sin done will the cleanse the sin done to the Nameless. The danger of the past is not the past, but sleeps in an egg. When the egg cracks, people assume it's Palpatine. It will threaten the galaxy entire. When the Force itself sickens, past and future must split and combine. A chosen one shall come, born of no father, and through him will... I feel like I'm reading scripture here, which is fantastic.
Preach.
Get up on that pulpit. A chosen one shall come, born of no father, and through him will ultimate balance in the Force be restored. So if you're reading it in kind of a chronological order there, yeah, it would make no sense because Anakin's born and now gone. So if the egg is cracking and that is Palpatine coming back... If we're talking about the chosen one, could it be Rey?
I think so.
It very well. I mean, we know nothing of her past.
Nope.
So we know, of Anakin being created from Palpatine. We assume that from the Vader comic. But now, I mean, did George Lucas definitively say Anakin was the chosen one? Yes, he did. He did in a 60-minute. I think it was a 60-minute.
Well, I
special.
didn't watch that then.
Pretty sure. I mean, it was years ago. It was before he sold the Lucasfilm.
So are we just disregarding that? And
I think you can. I mean, to a certain extent, Anakin, he's owed his due. Yes, I think he is the chosen one, so to speak. But I also think there can be another. I think there could be another one that picks up the mantle and just
I mean
becomes that generation's chosen one. You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad that we rewatched all the prequels.
Right.
Because,
Yeah.
you see that in that moment, when Obi-Wan is standing there and Anakin's screaming at him like, "I hate you."
Yeah.
He's like burning in the flames, whatever.
Yeah.
And Obi-Wan is like, you were supposed to be the chosen one.
Come on.
And he's like really upset about it because he thought that too. And then everything that he thought to be true just shattered in that moment.
Yeah.
And like everyone believed, like we all believed that if like that were the case, but actually maybe not.
Yeah.
Because of his destiny was to like turn to the dark side.
Yeah. Oh, and if it's to bring complete balance to the Force forever, Anakin didn't do that.
No. He did the opposite of that.
I mean, he did he, overcome darkness and defeat the Emperor? Yes. But is that balance? That comes to a point of then how do you define balance? Is that we're shrouded in darkness, or that we're covered in the light, or is it
I think
a
it's
little
both.
bit of both?
I think it has to be a little bit of both.
Well, so then Anakin did not bring that balance.
Nope.
Unless you're going to bring him back and have him be the hero of Episode 9.
That would be
I just feel like it's going to take away from Rey's story.
And
that's going to piss a lot of people off.
And then it's like, what's the point of having Rey be in the last 2 episodes?
Unless she is Anakin Skywalker's spirit. Damn it.
Like a reincarnation?
I don't like reincarnation. No, I don't like that. I think it's, if the Force is awakening, I feel it's more so you are the vessel for the Force. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Well, I personally thinking that she would be Anakin Skywalker's spirit is terrible. It takes away everything that we love about Rey.
Okay.
I
agree.
Don't we love her because she's quirky, she's funny, she's curious, she's honest. Yeah. She has a big heart.
None of what Anakin Skywalker
Which I understand. No, but I mean, yeah.
But a little bit.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
And then I think people would be like, well, I mean, this is his second chance.
But that's the thing. Anakin was redeemed, though. He had his moment.
I just like, I just don't like the idea of her being Anakin's spirit.
I don't blame you for that, because that's why I think it's more so you are a vessel for the Force.
You know,
and you through the Force will bring that balance. You know what I'm saying? Like, does she have, a ton of heritage that, and that's her heritage lies in very strong Force users? Who knows? Maybe.
We don't know.
But she's the vessel now that needs to bring the balance. And I think when such imbalance happens, the Force has to find a way to balance it. So when you talk about the chosen one, I feel like you're the chosen one in the time of need. It's what the galaxy needs a hero to step up, and the Force is going to find that hero. And I mean, no one's going to live forever.
So you're saying that the chosen one can be different, like
exactly.
So there was
that may upset a lot of people, and I don't mean to, because I accept what George Lucas said about Anakin being the chosen. I accept that, but if we are going to continue this story, and if this is the end, if this is complete balance, then it can't be him who's bringing it in this trilogy. I think, you know what I'm saying? It has to be someone else.
And I don't even think it's going to end with complete balance anyway. So
holy snaps! You think that's what I think? I think screw the final installment. They're coming back 10 years later, and we are going to see it again.
Maybe even 30 years later. Who
that
knows?
would be crazy. That would be unprecedented. If this story continues for another 30. Wow, that's Star Wars already is unprecedented what they're doing, but no, that's definitely not unprecedented. But I mean, it's for the franchise and a story. That's the franchise itself. That's impressive too. But the story continuing on, that'd be insane, and I would love it.
I just don't think it's going to end with total balance.
Right.
We can talk about that.
We'll see. But that's the thing. You have to define what is balance. You know what I'm saying? Is it light and dark balancing each other out? Is it complete darkness? Is it complete light? You have to, in order to answer that question, you have to have a stance on what is balance.
And that's never been defined by Star Wars for us.
It feels like it gradually is being defined as a balance of light and darkness, but in the end, you want the good guy to win, unless you're Wade and you dabble on the dark side.
A gray Jedi.
Nah, I don't like the idea of a gray Jedi. I just don't. I think you have good and evil, and it balances out. Because it doesn't work out. If you read Legends and Jason Solo tried it just doesn't work. You can become consumed by that dark side. I just don't know if you can balance it. There's people who have done it, and it just doesn't tend to work out like they think it will. At least in Legends. We'll see. Maybe it is. Maybe balance is, someone who walks in the light and darkness.
No, I don't think it is.
But the Skywalkers have tried, and they failed.
Not good.
A couple times.
Number 6. He who learns to conquer death will, through his greatest student, live again. This one could also have multiple interpretations. Is it Qui-Gon and Force Spirit?
I love that.
Do too. He said, I think this one actually refers to Palpatine and helps explain his return. His greatest student with Darth Vader, and through him indirectly via Leia and Kylo, shall he live again.
Yeah, no, I think there's a lot of people that agree with Brent on that, and he continues on. So while most of the prophecies deal with Anakin, I think the prophecies ultimately lead to Rey's birth as the chosen one. He says, "What do you guys think?" We're talking about he who learns to conquer death will, through his greatest student, live again. And what's cool about thinking about that being Palpatine is that he's living. So when we talk about Kylo and him almost talking to Vader's mask, and you're just like, how would he be talking to Darth Vader and still be in darkness? You know what I'm saying?
But you thought he was communicating to Palpatine.
I think Palpatine is projecting himself in his mind as Vader but then you have to. There's so much that we need to learn though. Like, what did Ben Solo know? What upset Ben Solo so much that he would, knowing that his grandfather was redeemed and turned to the light, knowing that information, would continue down a path of darkness and believe Palpatine's interpretation of what happened, or believe maybe Palpatine impersonating Darth Vader down a path of evil. Yeah.
But I guess it doesn't really matter, because I feel like it matters, but I feel like once Palpatine has like a hold on somebody and has manipulated somebody, it's very hard to get out of that.
No, I agree, but here's the thing though. If you're going to see more and more, I don't think Anakin's going to come back. I think we maybe will hear him reference, but
I know it's
going to complicate things so much.
You were hoping that he would at some point as like a Force ghost or something.
It would be cool to tie the story together, but here's the thing. The more I think about it, it's going to complicate things a lot, because these questions are in everyone's mind. If he knew his grandfather turned to the light, but then he's talking to his grandfather like he's still in darkness and seeking guidance from him, and then he ends up confronting his grandfather as a Force ghost, what's Anakin going to sit there and try to convince him, no, that wasn't me. Like, this is the way. This is the way.
This is the way.
Like, I just feel like that's going to complicate things too much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And we don't have time to dig into it in the movie.
We don't have a lot of time. This is not a 3.5 hour movie.
No.
I want it to be.
I just, like, every time I think about how long the movie is, or I guess how long the movie isn't, I'm like, I don't know how we're going to get any sense of closure. Well,
but that's the thing. JJ's done it. He did it in The Force Awakens. There's these gaps. It's like Maz and Luke's lightsaber. Are we going to explain that?
I bet not.
It's probably going to be a novel or something where we'll learn that information. Same with this. Maybe in this conversation about what made Ben so... Though I think it's him being so upset, it needs to be explained in the movies. Like it does. Like why he... I think we're going to see flashbacks with him and Luke Skywalker, and I don't know if they have any material with him and his mother. That would be awesome, though. I can't imagine Harrison Ford coming back and doing anything for this film. But him and Luke, definitely flashbacks of maybe something that went utterly wrong, because ultimately things went really wrong when he was with Luke. So maybe some Snoke manipulation and what happened there. Was Snoke actually Palpatine? We don't know about Snoke.
I remember when that happened, everyone, we were just like, that was so anticlimactic. Like, we never found out who Snoke was. Ultimately, like, we know nothing about him. And then we just saw Kylo and Rey very easily, well, more so Kylo, take him down.
Yeah, I could talk about it for hours.
I know.
I really could.
I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like we're still going to be left with some cliffhangers. And I think that you were right. I think that you're onto something when you say that those things are going to be explained in like a novel or another comic series.
It's just like the lightsaber thing. That doesn't need to be explained. But like Ben being so upset, that we need an explanation. A quick 5-minute flashback, something. There's things that just have to be explained in this movie. That's one of them.
Yeah.
Like why was he so upset that he killed his father? He even almost killed his mother. Like, why?
Or
he wanted to kill his uncle.
Who was whispering in his ear that he felt he needed so badly to impress that he would go to those lengths.
Exactly. No, and that's seemed like Snoke at the time, but
now it seems more so like Palpatine.
Is there something that he knew all along, that there was someone bigger behind the scenes, like the Wizard of Oz? I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
That's actually really funny that you brought that up there, because in my mind I'm like, okay, so now like what, Snoke wasn't like an actual like physical being, which I mean I guess technically he was, but it makes me feel like, when I think that you had made a comment one time about how maybe it was Palpatine who was projecting himself through Snoke.
Oh yeah.
And that kind of reminded me of the Wizard of Oz, just in general, like this very small, weak being, but
exactly.
projecting themselves to be this
until it was
huge,
time for them to
like,
until it was time for him to eventually reveal himself, which is what we're going to see here. The egg will crack, the suka will crack, and he will be revealed.
Or it's like, sorry,
Suka.
yeah, or like Voldemort when he's like,
and that's
weak
it's
and
almost like
shriveled.
you're taking both kinds of ideas and
but that's a
until he's strong
pattern
enough.
that we've seen in these franchises that are so beloved before.
Yeah.
So it
I mean, if you're a big Harry Potter fan, then yeah. And I am. That's a joke, Holly. It's a joke, Tiffany. I love Harry Potter. It is not a real thing. Whoever's told you I don't like it, they are lying. I make fun because I love it.
Right. Well, I just feel like it's something that we've seen before that works.
It does. And it makes sense for what we're seeing. But that's the thing. Not even so much like Palpatine projecting himself, but like in Legends, like his essence like consumed. Like, so there was Palpatine's essence that survived, and that could, JJ could play to those big Legends fans. They're pulling a lot. I mean, you're seeing the success of them doing it here in The Mandalorian. Like, it can work, and it can bring people together in this last installment. So, Brent, that was an awesome email, and he ends it with the addition of The Mandalorian releasing right now. This is probably the most exciting time in Star Wars history. I could not agree more. Under 2 weeks to go for the Rise of Skywalker. And 3 weeks to the conclusion of Green Bean's journey. This is an awesome time to be a fan of Star Wars. And I mean, and at least the first season of Green Bean's journey, because I feel like if you end this season and then there's no more Green Bean, people are gonna be uninterested.
I don't think people will watch it.
And I don't think that's anything against Green Bean. It's just like we need more about the Mandalorian.
Yeah,
I need more story. You know what I'm saying? And so should we just get into it then? You know.
Yeah.
Chapter 5, Gunslinger. So Brent, thanks again for that email. That was I love going back, and we've done it a couple of times, going back to these prophecies, but the more and more we know about the Rise of Skywalker and what's coming, it's so fascinating to go back and look at these. But him and I are synced. Like, we want Rey to be the hero of this particular story, and I think she needs to be. Mm-hmm. And you know what? That's going to piss off some of these fanboys, and that's totally fine with me.
Yeah. Like,
then don't go watch it. Don't go watch another Star Wars. That's fine. But like, this, I think, is her moment to save the galaxy. The Force is awakening in her to bring balance, and I think it's necessary.
And we need to watch it happen.
I cannot wait.
I know.
Less than 2 weeks. So Brett, that was an epic email. Thank you again, sir. So Chapter 5, Holly, I didn't even mention from the beginning, Luke's not here. He's not just silent right now. I haven't just accidentally muted him.
We're just talking over him.
Yeah, Luke, sorry you don't get a word in. But no, Luke was unable to cast tonight. You know, he got a lot.
He fell into the Sarlacc pit. Can't get out.
Maybe in 1,000 years he'll survive
Somebody's
or
gonna
slowly
find
digest.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Yeah, but Luke, we miss you. Can't wait for you to get back on, because I know he would have had some good thoughts about this too. But getting a lot of Mike and Holly tonight, so I apologize if you only listen for Luke. He's not here tonight, but I forgot to say that up top. But sometimes Holly and I just get so synced and just start rambling, and it's great. Ramblings with Michael and Holly.
There it is.
That's our side project. Hashtag rambling.
You were like, we're so in sync, and then we're like, side project. Hashtag.
I thought you were going to say finish each other's
sandwiches.
Hashtag.
Oh, crap.
Well, that's okay. So Chapter 5 happens. Holly, initial thoughts up front. What did you think?
Okay, so we're getting what you wished for in the beginning, which was planet hopping. So
get off of Sorgana or whatever that
wherever we are, and come to Tatooine,
which scared me at first.
Yeah,
because you see him, he's this planet Tatooine. I'm like, oh no,
because it was like Mos Eisley Outpost,
or right to Mos Eisley, yeah. And even the flyby. You remember when I was like, wow, that's familiar? It was the literal cliff that Luke Skywalker and Obi-Wan were sitting on, trying to get to. If that was when they were talking about the Jawas, I can't remember, but it's the same shot, and he's flying past. I was like, oh man, I was getting a little worried.
But it was a good callback. I think that
it was fun. Yeah, it was fun. And this is Dave Filoni producing it and directing it. I think Dave Filoni wrote this episode and directed it. So there's a lot of callbacks there. Yeah. So at first I was a little worried, but right when we get to Mos Eisley and he parks his ship, we run into, oh crap, what's the actress's name? Oh, I'm not prepared for this, Holly. Do you remember her name?
Sedaris.
Katie Sedaris? No. What's her name?
We weren't prepared for this.
Something Sedaris. I cannot remember it.
Amy Sedaris.
Amy Sedaris.
Yeah.
Why did I say Katie? I don't know.
You were close.
Katie,
Fine.
Amy, same thing. Am I right?
Right.
I was pleasantly surprised by how much I liked her character. I know a lot of people didn't enjoy her character.
People are saying that?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I just think they thought she was too funny.
Too funny?
Too silly?
How dare she?
How dare she be funny? Ugh. Comedy is for men only.
That's right. Women are funny.
I thought she was hysterical.
Yeah. I thought she was spunky, and I think that she could hold her own. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't see the problem with having her in there.
Did you even tell us what you felt about this episode up front? Like,
No, we just started talking
we
about
started
it.
talking about. Well, no, give me your overarching. How did you feel about it then?
I liked it. I guess I've said the same thing for every episode.
love
I
it,
haven't.
everything they're getting.
I just I haven't come across any episode where I've been like, that didn't work for me.
Yeah. Do you like
So-
it more than the prior episode?
No.
Okay.
I don't know why. I'm probably the only person in the world who didn't. I just think that it had to do with the setting though.
Okay.
I get very bored when we're on desert planets.
Yeah.
And
Well, you see a lot of it in Star Wars, and I think a lot of people agree with you for sure.
I
That's
just,
why I was worried.
Yeah, I just get really bored when we're on those planets. So if you're gonna ask me which episodes I like the most, it's the ones where we're in the creepy forest.
Well,
and,
then that's why I need to show you the battle for Endor.
Right.
Yeah, needs to happen. No, I agree with you. I enjoyed this one more than the prior episode, but I had hesitations in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like you, I was like, ugh. Not only are we going back to a desert planet, we're going back to Tatooine. Not only are we going back to Tatooine, we're going back to Mos Eisley. I was like, oh God, no. We've already had a lot of callbacks, and that's awesome, and we need to continue to do that. But man, they're really laying it on thick.
They are laying it on thick, but I think that they feel like they have to do that to pull in a certain crowd of people.
Yeah.
Who otherwise wouldn't watch it.
Yeah. But
And
there's
so
gotta
I
come a
feel
point-
like it's tailored more. I don't feel like it's tailored for the fans who have that deep sweaty knowledge of other places where they could have had this TV show
Yeah.
set. I feel like it's more so tailored
Interesting.
for the people who are like, oh wait, yeah, I really enjoyed the original Star Wars movies, and now this has that
Interesting.
feel.
I think you have an interesting take there that's the opposite from some people that say I think that fan service is to please those deep and sweaty fans, but you're saying just the opposite.
Yeah, because I think
Yeah.
the deep
Well,
and
that
sweaty
makes
fans
sense.
are. I think in my opinion, I think the deep and sweaty fans are well, we've already been there, done that kind of thing.
Yeah. No,
But I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
if those fans are saying something different, then I'm so sorry. But
Well, no, and and I categorize myself as a deep and sweaty fan, and I am having those same concerns. I'm enjoying what they're doing there, and that's why I was
Yeah.
pleasantly surprised because as much as I said, there was moments in prior episodes where, like the waitress on was it Sorgana?
I don't remember that. I'm
Yes,
sorry, I don't
something
remember
like
that.
Yeah, Luke brings out these details out of nowhere. She kind of took me out of it because it
Yeah, you said
didn't
that.
feel like she belonged. I don't know why. It just didn't feel like she belonged. And one may argue that Amy Sedaris' character was similar to that, and I would probably agree with you, but for some reason it worked for me.
I felt like she did belong. If you're talking about people who belong, well, first of all, you can't say somebody doesn't belong in the Star Wars galaxy. So if I said if you're gonna pick someone who doesn't belong, that's not what I mean. But
No, but there's characters that seem like they fit there. Yeah, everyone belongs in Star Wars, but it's just in the story you're telling and the moment of the story, some of the
you're saying it was more so an issue with the writing in
Exactly.
of that character's dialogue as opposed to who that character
exactly,
actually is.
yeah.
So that's more
It's a
critique
better
of the
way of
writing
putting
of the
it.
show.
Exactly.
Yeah. I felt like Amy Sedaris' character, whose name was Peli Motto.
Sure.
Motto.
Yeah.
I think that it felt like she fit a little bit more because she had droids, which I feel like people really like
the
characters
pit
in Star Wars
droids?
to have droids.
I lost my mind.
You flipped out.
Because we had just watched episode 1 with all the pod racing and the pit droids were there. And the moment they showed up, they poked their heads out. I was like, pit droids. It was just so, I don't know. We just see them and it was crazy. Sorry.
B, she's a mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
And C, in my opinion, I think that maybe from like a woman's perspective, if I'm a mechanic who owns my own shop and I'm making my own money and I see a Mandalorian come in, and I think notoriously Mandalorians are known for bartering and
being a little intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she's a very small woman.
Yeah.
It's just her and her droids. And she's not having any of it.
Yeah.
I mean,
She
I
took
think
no
that
crap.
I think she could hold her own. And she put her foot down and she was like, I'm not budging from this.
And then she was ripping apart his ship. It was just like, yeah, this is crap. This needs fixed. There's carbon scoring everywhere.
And he was just like, okay, fine.
Yeah, you're totally right.
I'll
Yeah,
get
what do
you
you
your
need?
money.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, she kind of has that, like, this is what's going to happen or you're going to get out.
But did you notice there's another, and this episode was rampant with it, the Mandalorian being very trusting again.
Yes. That was the other
Parks
thing
the
that I was
ship,
going to bring
leaves the
up.
door open.
Leaves the baby again.
He thinks
with
he
strangers.
locked him in there. It's like, bro, you've seen this thing lift a rhinoceros. Okay,
It can open the door.
He can open the door with his mind. So don't think that you're gonna lock him in there with one single door and he's gonna stay. You know, he's curious.
It was very funny seeing her like point her gun, like she heard.
Oh my god, he sounded
green
like
bean
he was
coming out
enormous.
of the ship.
Yeah,
and she was like,
"What is that?" Got an animal
and then
in
she
there.
points her gun and she's like, "It's a baby."
It's a baby.
Yeah,
I know. It was fantastic, and I loved her character. I loved the way she was handling the Mandalorian. He was just like, yeah, hey, what? You know, you're the boss. You know what's up. Like, what do you need? What do I owe you? He's like, I got 500 credits or whatever. And she's like, I ain't gonna
that's not gonna cover
I'm
anything.
gonna cut it. But and so he goes to the cantina, which
we know
another
is,
callback.
Mm-hmm.
Looks the exact same. These sets were great. I mean, I think we're in the same seat actually the same booth that Han Solo and Greedo were at, right?
Yeah.
It almost looks like it's the same exact booth. So whoever did the scenes and the sets, fantastic. But the one funny thing, and that's what's great about Favreau and Filoni writing this stuff, is that you're not always gonna get this in Star Wars unless you have a really deep and sweaty fan writing the material. And they are, and so now we have droids running the cantina. They're the same cantina, and now it's run by droids. And famously, droids aren't allowed.
You leave your droids at the door
in the cantina. Yeah, and we see that in A New Hope, and so that immediately is funny. And it's also a little bare. So someone's cleaning house there in Mos Eisley and cleaning things up. And that was something else that was surprising to me about Amy Sedaris' character. I got it right, right? Is that as tough as she was, I mean, this is Mos Eisley. So, like, how much has it changed since episode 4? Because the cantina was a little bare, you know? This mechanic that I would not have expected to be a mechanic in Mos Eisley, which we also don't see a lot of people around, didn't necessarily see that coming either. So is someone cleaning up Mos Eisley? Is it no longer like the hive of scum and villainy? Is it? I don't know.
People are just getting out and going somewhere else.
It could be. I don't know. Maybe the huts aren't, well, no, I think the huts are probably still pretty prevalent there, but
I don't know. We didn't see any.
Tell. They mentioned the huts, but I think that was our assassin that was being hunted I think she worked with the huts or something, and that's why she was notorious, something like that. But so the Mando needs some money, right, to fix his ship, because we didn't even talk about it, but the opening scene kind of started hot with a space battle, right?
Oh yeah, we
totally forgot about that.
Skipped right over that because
that was unusual.
Yeah, as soon as that opened, then you're like, this is the Star Wars feel that we were looking for.
Now, were some of the lines kind of cheesy?
But they pointed that out because the bounty hunter who was chasing him said, I could take you in hot or I could take you in cold.
Yeah.
Is that the quote?
Yeah.
And then I think I literally said out loud, I was like, wait a second, he's not the one who gets to say that. And then the Mandalorian takes him out and he's like, that's my line.
Yeah. And it was a little cheesy, but it was fun. Yeah. But we totally forgot about that. That's how it started. It started hot. But so his ship is damaged. That's why he lands we didn't even get to that point. That's why he lands in Tatooine. So he needs some credits. He goes to
question.
Sorry.
Where do you think he would have gone if he had, like, are we gonna
exactly my point?
Where
it's
was
like
he
going?
going?
Where are we going? What is our destination? They're gonna leave us on a freaking cliffhanger in episode 8, which is only 3 episodes from now.
I know.
But like, where the hell was he going? That's a great point.
Sorry, I did not mean to interrupt you. I was just like, hold on, wait.
No, because I've been wondering that for a while, but it's like, when are we gonna get there?
I need like a map of the galaxy so then I can be like, okay, if he's passing Tatooine, these are the possible places.
Take a right near Kashyyyk and take it. I have no idea, actually.
Is that how you get directions in the galaxy?
Take a right when you get to Tatooine. Nah, I have no idea. That's a great question. I don't know. There's probably an encyclopedia that would let us know. A huge map. I don't know. Something like that.
Yeah.
Star Wars Atlas.
Or somebody in the group.
Or someone in the group probably knows. We'll just ask one of them. But so he's looking to fix his ship. He needs more credits because Amy Sedaris' character says it's not enough. So he goes to Cantina looking for some bounties, right?
Yeah.
And the only guy there he finds is this joke of a wannabe bounty hunter. I don't even remember what the character's name was. Toro. And he just happens to stumble across him, and he has a fob, right? And it's a notorious assassin, I want to call her.
It makes me feel like, how did he get that?
Get the fob?
Because I mean,
they were tracking or
were whoever he got it from, were they just like hazing him like, haha, this will be hilarious?
Maybe. That's a great point. Yeah, he's
not
a part of the guild.
He's trying to get into the guild, which is why he has this, and they're pretty much telling him like, this is the only way you're going to get in, but they know that he's never going to be able to get her.
So when you join the guild, is there like a training period, and then you get a fob, and it's maybe
that's
it's
your
like
almost rite of passage into the guild. I don't know how that works. I'm sure somebody does.
Yeah.
I don't know, because he said a bunch of times like, I need to get in the. He's like desperate.
Desperate, yeah.
Oh, so desperate.
But this is his first job.
And the Mandalorian needs money.
Yeah. Yeah, and he does, but he's like, no, I'm not touching that at first, right? I don't even know what convinces him otherwise, but he's like, I'm not. There's no way this.
He said that he'll give him.
This chick's hung out with the Hutts and all this and that.
Yeah,
but
he said that he'll give him like more than half of the money.
Well, I think all the money. He just needs to get in the guild. Yeah. That's kind of what changes.
And
his
then
mind.
this punk like smashes the fob.
I thought that was so stupid. He's like, now you need me. I'm like, oh my god, like you just could have.
It just shows how like immature and inexperienced this kid is.
I agree. So they track her there. There's a really cool scene where they come across Tusken Raiders, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know what was great about this scene? This is why it's great, because it's Filoni writing it, because you see almost the same scene, a couple banthas and a couple Tusken Raiders, and you know when you expect like when Luke's looking through his binoculars, I think that's what they call them, binocs. Right in front of him comes a Tusken Raider and makes that crazy noise. But this time, like, the guy's looking, and he's like, I see a couple Tusken Raiders, and I forget what he says.
Yeah, he's, like, talking trash about the Tusken Raiders.
He's like, well, why don't you tell them yourself? And they're standing
right
there. That was fantastic. It's like Tusken Raiders just are stealthy, which you don't give it. And that's another of my point coming into the scene is, like, you don't give them a lot of credit. They people just bash them and say how stupid they are and this and that. They're not civilized or anything like that. But they sneak up on Luke.
They're good at what they do.
They sneak up on these guys, and then the next scene where they're bartering to let them pass on their lands. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah,
how they're like using some sort of sign language or something. Wait, it's almost like a basic sign language. Yeah,
so that's the other thing.
Yeah,
and in what other movies or maybe the books you would know do we see that we have the ability to like barter like that with the Tusken Raiders? Because I feel like historically we've just seen They come in, they pillage, they plunder, they take what they want.
Yeah, Anakin just went in and he didn't try to negotiate with them at all. He just cut their heads off.
But we see the Mandalorian actually negotiates with a lot of natives on different planets.
He seems well-traveled.
Well-traveled. I think he seems
Been
cultured.
around.
He tries to get along. The only ones that he doesn't try to get along with are the Jawas.
Yeah, he
doesn't like
You're
those
right.
little guys. But
so that's another. I think that's a great point, though. So he just blasts them away and doesn't want to. I mean, did they, cut up his ship? Yes, and maybe he's upset and he doesn't want to give him a moment. But with the Tusken Raiders, I guess he thinks he has no choice because they probably got people sniping him from the ridges around them too, because that's what they do. We saw it in the pod racing; they're sniping from the hilltops. So,
and then what does he do when they barter to cross?
Oh, I don't remember.
He takes the binocs from Toro and he gives them to the Tusken Raiders. Like, that's all it took.
Yeah, that was awesome.
But then Toro's like, "Those were new," and
Not
the Mando
anymore.
and he goes, "Yup," or whatever. Yeah, they were.
They were. Yeah. So they pass and they come across. I don't even remember how they track her to the ridge, right? And
he says that he remembers how to get there.
Yeah, and she ends up sniping them, and they end up using some flashbangs and stuff to be able to get to her, and they end up capturing her, right? I mean, long story short, they capture her, and I'm sure there's something I'm overlooking there, but so she seems ruthless or whatever, but I think the Mando gets shot up, and so does his speeder. So they have one speeder, so Mando's got to go seek one of the dewbacks that they came across, because that's
yeah. Well, so he comes up with this plan. He has those, I forget what they're called.
Mm-hmm.
You hit them and it makes a bright flash because they're and they're like, how are we gonna get to her? And he's like, well, with the speeders and then the flashes, like, we're gonna interrupt her scope or what. I don't know what the technical terms were that he used, but then he was like, we'll see if we make it.
Yeah.
And so he comes up with this plan to, like, get across the desert, and they're switching the flashes back and forth. They're alternating who's using them so they can keep going across the desert.
Yeah. Yep.
But it was working until he hit his button and it didn't work.
Yeah, you're right.
And so then she shot him off the bike, right?
Yeah.
Which was funny that she was aiming for him specifically and not the other kid.
Well, I mean, she probably saw he was
she
Mando
knew.
armor,
She was like, he's coming for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, take out him now so I don't deal with him later.
But then that kid gets there, right?
He does, yeah, and so there's an interaction there. The Mando leaves to go get the dewbacks so they can all travel together, and I don't want to, recount the whole story, but basically the lady, tells him, hey, that Mando is worth a lot of money. I already did this and that, and he has this huge bounty, this and that. Convinces the stupid guild wannabe to go seek the Mando out, and so he shoots her dead, we think, and goes back and finds the child, which, once again, it's just like, man, you are leaving this, this thing has a huge bounty on it, and you're just leaving it everywhere. You're trusting anyone with it.
Well, because I was going to say,
yeah,
before any of that even happens, him and Toro get in an argument about who's going to stay with Fennec, which, by the way, we kind of, like, glazed over it, but I really enjoyed her character.
Yeah, she's
BA, a super, she's super badass. And, I don't know. She just, like,
I think we'll see more of her. I don't think she's gone.
I hope so, but I've said that about every character that we've come across. I've been like, wow, I said that about Quill, and here we are.
Definitely, I mean, it feels like we're setting up these characters and kind of getting a little bit of their background, and maybe season 2, it's all going to kind of come together. You know what I'm saying?
He knows who she is, Fennec. He knows how notorious she is. He knows what he's done because he's seen the bounty on her multiple times. Like, he knew right away. I mean, when he was talking to Toro in the cantina and he was like, I have a bounty out, here's who it's on. And he literally said, well, good luck with that. Yeah. Like, he knows. So he knows about her. But then he still leaves Toro there alone with her.
He does.
To go back and
knowing
get the bike.
He's a dingbat.
Yeah, this kid's a moron.
Yeah.
And this woman clearly can get herself out of probably any situation.
Yeah.
Well, maybe or maybe not, depending on what we see further down the road. But he just left him there.
He did.
And I just feel like that was where it all went bad.
Not smart. Yeah, it was not his finest moment. But that's the thing. He's so trusting. And we talked about him being well-traveled. Is it because he's seen a lot of the galaxy and he tends to think he understands it? And he's very trusting.
But do you think that would make him a little less trusting? I don't know.
You would think. No, you would think. I would think, because he's probably seen a lot of crap. But that's the thing. He gets into these situations because of maybe some questionable decisions.
Yeah. Well, and questionable decisions. I think the other thing that kind of tells you, like, oh, this is going to be really bad is you see how quickly this kid's like, help me with this bounty. And then so you're like, well, you know that he's not invested in the Mandalorian doing anything for him. He just wants to get into the guild. And so then if he thinks, well, I don't have to kill this girl because I'm going to get more money.
Yeah.
Or I will kill her, but then I'll go get the Mandalorian who already like trusts me and get the money. Maybe he's not as dumb as we thought he was.
Yeah. And also I think, thinking back to how empty the cantina was too, there probably wasn't a whole lot to pick from. Mos Eisley was looking a little thin on opportunities.
That's true.
So he's probably just like, okay, fine, we'll go do this and so I can get out of here. And it goes south. So it's questionable decisions, but
all around.
He eventually comes and kidnaps the child. I can't remember what happens to Amy Sedaris' character.
Well, yeah, so she's getting held hostage. He's holding both of them hostage.
That's right.
And then the Mandalorian comes in and he steps out and he's like, it's about time, or like, I'm surprised it took you so long to get here.
Yeah.
And then he makes Mando go and put the handcuffs on the Mandalorian.
That's right. And he's got a slash bang and all that good stuff. That's right. I'm surprised that Baby Yoda isn't intervening anymore, right?
Well,
or is that just too easy right now?
I don't know. I'm kind of curious. I haven't seen what other people are saying about that. Like he lifted. Maybe he didn't know what he was doing. I think we were operating under the assumption.
He knew.
Do you think so?
Yeah. I think he's only going to intervene if he knows the Mando can't handle it. And that may change in the future, but I think he saw desperation there in the Mando, and he came out and it knocked him out. But I mean, he's maybe just not capable of doing that all the time, only in desperate hours. But
yeah, I don't really know.
I guess he thought the Mando could handle this, and he did. And
yeah, and we haven't seen Baby Yoda use the Force since then either.
No, we just heard him giggle. Really, really, really adorable.
Everything is so funny.
It's so funny. I mean, there's a couple jokes in there about Corellia with the speeders. He's like, guys, like, man, we're not on Corellia or whatever. And I think the baby laughs. It's like, well, you don't get the joke, Baby Yoda.
Everything is so funny.
I know. So he's giggling and he's adorable, but I mean we need to see a little more parenting from the Mando because it ain't working. Well, actually,
no.
I don't have any kids, but I'm assuming that's what happens. They just don't listen.
Yeah, and also like, don't do parenting the way that the Mandalorian does it.
It seems like it's a guide of what not to do. The guide of how to not parent your child, and that's why I love Luke coming in with his commentary, because every episode really is. I mean, you're just realizing more and more that this is for those Star Wars fans that now have families and are those moments are really resonating with them. So and I'm just like, what the hell are you doing? Don't leave this thing alone. Like, I don't know you, and it's not even just that he's a child. It's like it's this huge bounty. People are after
and
you.
That's the thing.
You were just shot down. Like, why are you
because of
leaving
that
it?
bounty, and then he left him again. It's like
there's fobs out there on him tracking him. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, but I just don't know why we haven't seen him use the Force again, because in that scene, he was very clearly in danger, because when he shot at him, Baby Yoda went flying out of Toro's arms.
He did.
Oh, that's not safe.
Yeah, what the heck? I was like, that thing was probably crushed.
Well, he wasn't, thankfully.
Did he use the Force and kind of cushion his fall, probably?
Did he? I don't know. Maybe he did.
Missed that camera angle.
The Force works in mysterious ways.
It does. Amen, it does. And so then, we get the parts we need, right? And Amy fixes up the ship, we assume.
What does he? So he takes the money off of Toro and gives her just
all of it.
all of it, and
Yeah.
he's like, "Will this cover it?" She's like,
yeah, totally.
"Sure."
Yeah. Fixes. Do we see him take off or anything? I can't remember.
I don't remember either.
Yeah. It was a few days ago.
I think
we watched it.
I think it was like overshadowed by the next scene.
Yeah. Oh, yes. The scene. That's funny that we haven't even got to that because that's what a ton of people are talking about right now. So let's just say it, Holly. Let's say it because you and I agree on this. What is all the hype about?
Whose boots are those?
But that's what everyone's like. These are huge stakes here.
No.
Why?
And what did I say? I said, no, the big twist has already happened in the series, and it was Baby Yoda.
Some people were calling this the biggest twist. That's what you saw in articles. So this is the biggest twist in the Mandalorian. It's like, no, that's not the case.
They came out and said there is a huge spoiler for the Star Wars universe, and it was this Baby Yoda. Mm-hmm. It did it.
First
so
episode.
I don't think you're gonna get a bigger twist.
You may get another character, but like to us, we just thought it was Carl Weathers, right? Grief. We just thought it was him.
100%. The boots match, the cape matches, but everyone's like, "Oh, but it's the spurs. He has spurs on. He's jangling along through the desert."
Boba Fett or something. I mean, that'd be crazy.
I just don't.
That would be okay if Boba Fett comes out of the pit just now, happens in this time when we're here. That'd be pretty crazy.
Yeah, but like
that'd be pretty crazy. That is a Star Wars. That is a Star Wars spoiler.
But what role would he play in this?
I have no idea.
I just
maybe
don't
he comes out. He's like, I got nothing. I need a bounty, and it's Baby Yoda.
I don't
Holy
think.
Cow!
I don't.
I
think
just
so.
write the Mandalorian.
But then what would happen? What happens next?
He'll probably get put back into the Sarlacc pit, and this time he'll be
That's
digested.
it for him. Listen, I just. That's it.
That's it. That's the
That's
story.
The end of
That's
the show.
The whole point. Yeah.
The script was leaked, and Michael found it.
Yeah, I wrote it. Actually,
Michael leaked the script himself.
Yeah, executive producer Michael.
Sorry,
Canterbury.
Dave Filoni.
Screenwriter Michael Canterbury. Yeah.
Listen, I just think.
Come on,
I don't know.
Get it out.
I just feel like we can't have another big Mandalorian be introduced in this because then it overshadows our Mandalorian.
I agree. It felt like he's just being tracked by Carl Weathers' character. That's how I took it, right?
So yeah, because the last time that we see Carl Weathers,
Grief
Karga.
Yeah, we're
let's go back to who he really truly is. The last time we saw Grief Karga was when the Mandalorian was like zipping out of there with the rest of the Mandalorians in that big shootout. And you know that he's like,
yeah,
that makes me look really bad. I'm coming after him.
Yep, I will get that bounty.
It has to be him.
I agree. I think it's a lot of hype about nothing.
I agree.
Right?
If we're wrong, then cool.
But let me say, it would be shocking with a capital S if that was Boba Fett.
Look, I've seen so many theories. I've seen people saying it's Boba Fett.
I've seen people say it's Palpatine.
Somebody said it was Jar Jar Binks. Someone was like, there's only one character that matters who wears spurs. And then they were like, it's Jar Jar.
Jar Jar coming back. He's like, this son is doing murder to me, so skin.
Yes.
Yeah, but let me pick up this dead woman.
And like,
yeah. I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah.
It was some. Okay, so here's the other big. Okay, you're watching me work through this.
Yeah. No, now you have your own theories. As much as you were bashing people for being like, that's not a big character, like, it was Qui-Gon, he's back.
Surprise, and he's not a Force Ghost.
Not a Force Ghost.
Okay, no. So it can't be somebody who's tracking the Mandalorian because the Mandalorian has a bounty out on him because the Mandalorian's not there. It's somebody who has the ability to track Fennec's character because he showed up there. Or what? How else would he get there?
Who's Fennec's character again? Toro?
No.
Wait, who's
Fennec?
the dead assassin.
Right.
Yeah.
Is she dead? I don't know.
That's a good question.
This kid's inexperienced. He could have missed. It's fine. Well, he hit her, but I mean, she might not be dead.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's my
She's been there a
theory.
while, though. I think she's dead, but yeah.
And she ain't coming back.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. That son's doing murder to her skin.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So I am thinking it's somebody who either watched the whole thing happen Because how else would he have shown up there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or it's somebody who was after her, and then something else is going to happen after that. Because it can't be someone who has a tracker for Baby Yoda.
Or they
because,
just went straight there.
right,
Yeah.
because Yoda wasn't there.
Great point, Ollie. So it's someone in the guild, we think.
Yeah.
So, and we know that people are still tracking Baby Yoda. We've seen it.
But if they were tracking Baby Yoda and that was his purpose of showing up there, he wouldn't have shown up there because Baby Yoda was never there.
Not there. Yeah, great point. So why?
So I actually think maybe it was somebody who could have been tracking the Mandalorian but from a distance and watched the whole thing happen.
Well, and who? It may not even been someone from the guild. It could have been someone that wanted her dead. You know,
right? And that's why initially. That's why I was like, well, I mean, they could have been tracking her because they showed up at her dead body.
Yeah.
Which then, I think we had talked about a couple episodes, maybe last episode, we were like, well, how do people track the bounties?
Yes.
And I think that we had thought maybe it was because it's like a live tracker.
Yeah.
And then if the bounty is taken in, the tracker turns off. But I would think that if somebody died, it would also turn off because why would you have a...
True, but maybe they were investigating, like maybe her last ping was there.
And they were checking it out.
And they were checking it out.
And then they're angry that somebody killed the person that they were going to collect a bounty on.
Yep.
I don't know.
It's interesting.
The possibilities are endless, I guess.
They are. So in summary, I was not as fascinated with that ending as everyone. I just assumed it was Grief. I just assumed it was him tracking what the situation around. Like, who would be able to take this out? Well, take her out. Probably the Mando, right?
How would you feel?
The most dangerous.
Yeah.
Like, no one else. He didn't even. She was so dangerous, he didn't even want her. But the Mando is notorious now.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Grief was like, well, if she's dead, he's got to be close by, right? But why not just track Baby Yoda? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's
either.
weird. It's weird, but maybe he wants to know how did he defeat her. Is there something? I don't know.
That's why I'm like,
Something
I don't.
useful
I just
about it. But
I just don't think it's somebody who's tracking Baby Yoda.
I don't either.
But who knows?
Could
maybe,
be Boba Fett.
Maybe
could
it
be
is
Grief.
Boba Fett.
Could be Jabba the Hutt himself.
How are you gonna feel if it's Boba Fett?
That would be insane. That would be crazy. I mean, if we thought Baby Yoda was a spoiler about Star Wars and it was actually that Boba's coming back, I'm speechless. I don't know.
I mean,
that'd be crazy.
Weren't we gonna get a Boba Fett movie and then they were like, eh.
Granted, though, Boba Fett started the Mandalorian craze.
Yeah, that's true.
So if you're gonna make a show about the Mandalorian, it's not that. Let's just say it's not that far fetched, right? Do I necessarily want it?
No.
Maybe not. Doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. Would it take away from the Mando? Maybe. But if you're gonna call a show the Mandalorian, who's the most famous? It ain't Django.
No. It's definitely Boba Fett.
It's definitely Boba.
I don't know. I think it would take something away from the Mandalorian, though.
But maybe maybe Boba Fett becomes the big baddie of this.
And then we truly find out what happened.
Then you can have that moment where I thought of his arm just coming out of the pit.
Hey, that would be
That'd
weird.
Be crazy.
If Boba Fett became the big baddie, I feel like all the other Mandalorians are kind of like together, and then he would be like the one outlier, though.
Well, I'm sure he has a posse still, though. Maybe.
Do you think that there are other posses after like this purge that are like around?
Oh, I'm not talking about Mandalorians.
Oh, you just mean of like
bounty hunters.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
It could be interesting.
I
Hits
guess
up his old buddies. Maybe
yeah.
Bosk is still in the game. I have no idea. But I don't know. It would. I don't know if it would serve the story, but I mean, they're making so many callbacks.
Who even knows?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back and watch the scene, and maybe next episode I'll bring my thoughts.
Your theories.
Maybe.
So you didn't think it was Jar Jar?
He was walking a little too non-Jar Jar.
He was too quiet.
Yeah, he wasn't stumbling around and
talking to himself.
Exactly, spitting everywhere. So I'll watch that again and we'll talk about it a little more next week. Maybe see what Luke has to think too, because he may completely think it was Boba. I don't know. So yeah, it was a better episode than 4, I thought, but we're still waiting for where we going. I that was a great point you made, Holly. Like, where the hell was he going?
And are we gonna go there now?
We got interrupted. Yeah, are we going there now? I'm sure something else is gonna happen. But so can't wait to get there. We only got 3 episodes left.
I know.
That's
it's
crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So awesome stuff there. I do want to give a little plug for the Patreon because Holly and I have a really, really fun post that's going to be up there soon. We've been rewatching the prequels, and we're just kind of looking at Anakin and kind of comparing him to Ben Solo in certain ways, and their reactions and their mannerisms, and it's an interesting conversation. So expect that up on Patreon soon. And if you haven't, go on there. If a tier works for you, that's fantastic. We'd love to have you. There's gonna be some good stuff up there soon. So go check that out, see what you think, and if you have suggestions about the tiers, and we're open to listen to them, and then I'm sure changes will come in the future. So make those known and go check that out. We are also going to be doing the week of the Rise of Skywalker, which is less than 2 weeks. We're going to do a live episode on YouTube. We want everyone there, everyone listening, everyone participating, and this could be a very long episode. Let me disclose that, because we talked about, Brent's email with the prophecies and the Rise of Skywalker for an hour.
There was a lot there.
This could be hours and hours of theories because everyone's going to want to get their predictions in last minute and see where this goes. So, I mean, it's going to be good. So expect an announcement about that the week of the Rise of Skywalker. Live episode with Luke and Holly and myself. So we'll get that out there. Also, get in there and join that Facebook group. It's a fun group. Like Holly said, now we've got, exclusive giveaways happening. So that is shutting down tonight, Sunday night, unfortunately, but, still go in there and give us a review. We'll give you a shout out. You never know, what we're going to do. But give us a shout out on there. Give us your feedback, whatever it is. We'll gladly take that, and we appreciate that. So go in there and join that Facebook group. Like the Facebook page. That's another way that helps the page get out there as well. Share it with your friends if you're enjoying what you're hearing. Check us on Instagram, all that good stuff. Twitter, we have some more followers on Twitter, which is great. I'm just consistently posting on there, still figuring it out. But it's a lot of fun there. And then leave us an email, voicemail, whatever it is you want to do. However you want to contact us, do that. It's there in the description of the podcast. Get that number and that email.
Just talk to us.
Just talk to us. We need people to talk to us. But we are the great thing about the group, is what a lot of that conversation is there. So it's,
the group is awesome.
The group is fantastic. So go join that. It's a lot of fun. And go buy yourself a t-shirt. I would love to see people, showing that swag. Take a picture of it, and I'm sure everyone will look a lot better in it than I did. But so if you got some swag, take a pic out there and let us see it. It would be epic. And good luck to those of you that are going to be entered into the drawing. That'll be happening, like we said, Wednesday night. Holly, is there anything I'm forgetting?
I don't think so. I think you covered it.
Well, I know I did, because I
nailed it.
Okay, that we're working on it. Fun baking show there. But guys, thanks for listening. We'll be back next week. Hope you enjoyed this one, and we'll be talking about another episode of The Mandalorian, I'm sure. See ya.